Hi, my name is Ivan Butler. I would like to introduce the Hacking Lab CTF system. This talk is about the playing mode of the European Cybersecurity Challenge. We'll introduce the types of challenges, including the CTF architecture, the tasks, and the scoring system. Who should listen to this talk? I think I would recommend it to the European Cybersecurity Executive Committee and to the finalists of the European Cybersecurity Challenge. Playing mode. The European Cybersecurity Challenge final consists of Jeopardy-style challenges, and in parallel we will run the attack-defense competition. Hacking Lab would be able to run Jeopardy challenges, attack-defense and CTF, but we will just use the Jeopardy challenges and the attack-defense CTF. What types of challenges can you expect? So we will have a wide variety of challenges in the field of cybersecurity, including malware analysis, Linux OS X, and several other topics, including code analysis and IoT, Internet of Things. Let me briefly introduce the CTF architecture. This is the architecture we will use in the European Cybersecurity Challenge Final 2016 in Düsseldorf, Germany. What you see on this picture is the overall on-site CTF architecture we will use for both Jeopardy-style challenges and the attack-defense part. One important key factor of the attack-defense CTF is that every team will get its own individual private team server and the proper login credentials. So we will have VMware ESXi on the hardware, and the team server will host the virtual machines and the vulnerable services. We named this hardware, this server, the development environment. So if team 1 is having such a hardware, there is a VM with a DNS or proxy on it, plus the first vulnerable application. But this vulnerable application 1 is not just only running on the client machine on the development environment. The same identical machine will run in the production environment. Then there is a second virtual machine with another vulnerable application on the development environment and under the production, and for third and fourth. Additionally, on the LAN interface of the Dell hardware, there is a switch plugged in with a DHCP server, and the laptops of the players are connected to this switch. The same is valid for the team number 2. So we have a DNS server, proxy server, vulnerable app 1 on the client and in the production, 2 on the dev system and production, and third and fourth and so forth. Same with team number 1, there is a DHCP server and the laptops of team number 2 are connected to the DHCP server of the team server 2. I would like to mention that the clients from team 1 and client 2 to team 2 cannot connect to each other because this network will not route. This is the same architecture as valid for team 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. We have 4 teams here, so same for team 3 and 4. As you can see on the upper left corner, all these client machines, the hardware, the physical hardware, we call it development environment, and the production server is called prod. What is the difference between the dev and the prod? Or what is the idea of having an application running on the hardware, on the client, on the team side and on the production side? It is because on the hardware, on the dev system, as the teams have root access on the machine, they can apply infrastructure mitigation steps on the vulnerable components. But on the production system, teams do not have interactive SSH or, generally speaking, as interactive access. They can only push new releases of application throughout other procedures to the production environment. The application number 1, for example, is identical for team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the development and on the production server. Everywhere is the same application. But the gold nugget is different, it's unique per application. What a gold nugget is will come later. CTF tasks. What can players expect during the CTF? So we'll have several tasks that the teams must solve during the CTF. Some tasks need a special piece of information, we call it gold nugget. So what is a team really doing? In achievements, they will solve certain tasks. They have to attack and steal gold nuggets from other teams. They have to keep their services up and running. They need to patch the vulnerable components. They need to protect their own gold nuggets. GN is gold nugget. They need to solve some Jeopardy challenges, as we are mixing Jeopardy and attack defense. And they can get points in the POWNED task. Now I would like to go through all the 7 tasks. Achievement. What is an achievement? Achievement is a certain technical or non-technical task. A technical task could be setting up a server like WordPress, DNS or whatever. And a non-technical achievement is, for example, writing a press release or setting up a crisis squad. So from a technical perspective, teams will read the description of the achievement out of the CTF application, which is a core application in the CTF framework. And they will read the mission, setting up a server, for example, and once they're done, they submit the solution to the CTF app. From a scoring perspective, they will get 0 points until they have not reached a certain achievement. Once they reach an achievement, here for example team number 3 has solved achievement 1, they will get points. If another team is solving an achievement, they will also get points. And if team number 3 is solving another achievement, they get even more points until the end of the game. This is the scoring of the achievement. The second type of task is an attack. So in the attacks task, teams should exploit and find the gold nugget in the vulnerable component services of other teams. It's all about finding the gold nugget, exploiting and finding the gold nugget. Teams may attack the development environment or the production environment. It's up to the team's strategy what they want to, where they want to steal the gold nugget. Make an example. So team number 3 is exploiting the vulnerable app of team number 2, number 1. They steal a gold nugget. As they know how to exploit the vulnerable app number 1, they may exploit it on production as well. And steal another gold nugget from there. As I said in the beginning, every application has a unique gold nugget, so these gold nuggets are not identical. And then they register the gold nugget at the CTF application and claim points for it. From a scoring perspective, no one will get any points as no system has been hacked yet. But now assuming team number 3 attacked team number 2, and they find the gold nugget out of team number 2, then they steal the gold nugget and register the gold nugget at the CTF application. Once this happens, then the team number 3 is getting points as long as team number 2 has not fixed the vulnerability and changed the gold nugget. If team number 2 is applying a fix, they will also renew the gold nugget, because team number 3 has a valid gold nugget, so they need to renew it. They get a new gold nugget, and then they need to build a new application by applying changes to the existing application. and after that team number 3 is not getting any points because they don't have the valid gold nuggets anymore. Coming to the third task, CTF task, availability. Teams must keep their services up and running, and the services must be running and functioning. So broken apps is not acceptable. So let's do an example. We have a scoring bot here in the public CTF network, and there's a single monitoring system in the private CTF network, and the Isinga servers is monitoring all the services, and the scoring bot is also monitoring the services, and together they will do the scoring. So if every system is up and running, then you get max points. If a service gets down, then you will get reduced points. If it comes up and running again, then you will get full points again. The fourth task is code patching. So one of the main advantage of the Hacking Lab CTF is the concept of fixing the code or the vulnerable application in the source code. Therefore, teams have access to their private Git repository, where the source code of the vulnerable application is hosted. So there's a team Git and a Jenkins building infrastructure and the CTF application. These are the main services for the code patching tasks. So teams have access to the source code of the vulnerable apps. Teams must fix the vulnerabilities and commit changes to the source code repository, to the Git repository. Then the Jenkins building infrastructure will build a new release. It will get a new gold nugget or a gold nugget from the gold nugget app, and then it will push the changes to the dev and the prod environment. Making an example. So here in the lower right corner we have the Git repository. Consists of a read-write repo and of a read-only repository. Team number 2 is now applying a change in the read-write repository. This is where the source code of the vulnerable app is. So let's assume they will fix the code. Second, team number 2 need to trigger the build process on the CTF app. If they trigger the new build process, then they will call the Jenkins building infrastructure. The Jenkins building infrastructure will fetch all sources from the repo. It will fetch the gold nugget from the CTF application and builds a new release including the gold nugget, and the new build will then be pushed to the read-only repository. The log file of the building process will be stored to the read-only repo, so teams, in the case that a build will not succeed, can read the log file there. That will be pushed to the development environment and to the production environment. Please keep in mind, gold nuggets are different between the development apps and the production app. From a scoring perspective, they will not get any points until app 1 is secured. In this case, then they will get points. If the app 1 is secured from team 2, then they will get points, and so forth. The more applications are secured, the more points you get. The fifth task of the CTF game is defense. So every team is responsible for a set of secrets, and we call it gold nuggets. As long as no other team has stolen the gold nugget, all teams get full points for the gold nugget save. But in case you get exploited or your server gets hacked and another team is stealing your gold nuggets, then you're losing the gold nugget and you get less points for that. So this is a chart. Here we have 6 teams. We have gold nuggets in the development environment and gold nuggets in production, and we have app 1 to app 4 in this example per team. Now let's assume that some application get hacked, and So these teams are now losing their gold nuggets. If they fix the gold nugget afterwards, then how does this result in the scoring? So when we start the CTF, every team is having authority of all gold nuggets. At the very beginning of the CTF, no gold nugget has ever been stolen. Okay. But eventually a team got hacked and the gold nugget is lost. So team number 3 lost the gold nugget. They get less points. Maybe they lose another gold nugget. They get even less points. But if they fix the vulnerability, they will get more points and so forth. So this is how the gold nugget scoring works. The renew gold nugget procedure is very similar to what we have seen before. We have the Git repository with the read-write repo and the read-only repo. Team number 2 is renewing the gold nugget and pushing or creating or enforcing the build process. So the Jenkins building infrastructure is executed for a new build. We'll fetch the new sources or the latest sources from the Git repository and fetching the gold nugget, producing the final release and store it to the read-only repo, and then storing the resulting applications to the development and production server. Would like to mention that every repository is per team only, so team number 1 is not having access to team number 2's repo and so forth. So it's a private repo per team. JEOPARDY. This is the legacy kind of task we have in the European Cybersecurity Challenge. It's about reading a mission, for example, crypto challenge or steganograph challenge, reversing or whatever. And you get access to a shared environment within the Hackingham JEOPARDY CTF network. You're getting a JEOPARDY nugget out of your task, whatever it is, and you're kind of registering the JEOPARDY nugget at the CTF app and claiming points. From a scoring perspective, you will not get any points until you have solved one of the JEOPARDYs. Let's say mission 1. You get points. If another team is solving the same mission, they will get points. If team number 3 is solving another mission, they will get even more points. So this is how the JEOPARDY works. The last task in the CTF is called POWNED. POWNED is a very special task because we have a probability of introducing 0 days or other vulnerabilities the CTF provider is not aware of. And if a team or a participant of the CTF could exploit one of the services by such unknown, or at least to the jury or the CTF provider unknown vulnerability, then they can leave a so-called evidence nugget on the victim server. And this evidence nugget is kind of a proof that the attackers have been able to really hack a server. So make an example. Here team number 2 is attacking server 3 on the production server. They get to the CTF application, they get an evidence nugget, and then it's their task to store the evidence nugget to the victim machine and letting the CTF provider know that they have hacked another or hack the server by using a 0 day or whatever, and the manual verification of such an evidence nugget on this server is a manual procedure for the CTF provider. So you can only claim one evidence nugget at a time. After the evidence nugget has been accepted or rejected, or let's say accepted, you can get another evidence nugget. From a scoring perspective, it's pretty simple. You'll not get any points for evidence nuggets until you really exploit a server throughout the 0 day exploit. Important to mention that these kind of task, POWNED task is only allowed on the servers of other teams and not allowed on the CTF infrastructure itself. So you'll get points as long as you have hacked the server. Finally, let's briefly talk about the scoring. So the achievement will be measured by the CTF application. Attack is about gold nuggets. Availability is organized by Isinga and stored to the scoring database on the right hand side. Then co-patching is within the team Git in the source code, and we have the scoring, the value in the scoring DB. Then defense task goes throughout the CTF app. Jeopardy task goes throughout the CTF app, and POWNED goes throughout the CTF app. So the CTF app is a centerpiece of the whole European Cybersecurity Challenge. This will result in the final chart, the scoring, as you can see here. So we have the green is the co-patching, score yellow is availability, orange is attack, red is defense, POWNED is violet, and blue we have jeopardy, and green is achievement. And summing up all the points you get from all these CTF tasks will give you the winner of the European Cybersecurity Challenge in the technical discipline. Not mentioning the non-technical part, presenting and these kind of tasks. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Hope this helps you to understand the European Cybersecurity Challenge and the Hacking Lab, the CTF provided by Hacking Lab. My name is Ivan Butler. I'm from Compass Security or Hacking Lab, or as you see in the contact details below. Take care. Cheers.